Assemble! Stay dandy, baby. A cataclysmic comet is the catalyst for all the craziness in the latest episode of Yashahime. Alliteration aside, there's a lot to talk about in the latest episode of Yashahime, so let's go ahead and dive right in. And, oh yeah, spoiler warning, if you haven't watched the latest episode of the series, there are some pretty big pieces of information which are dropped here, and we're gonna have to talk about all of the juicy bits, so let's go ahead and dive right in. So, this is an episode which is fully flashback-centric. We go back into the past, and we get to see what actually happened to Inuyasha and Kagome, as well as what's going on with Towa and Setsuna, who the real mother is. It's not exactly the biggest shock in the world, but we get to basically see where all of the events of the past have led up to the current storyline. So let's go ahead and dive right in. First and foremost, let's talk about one of the biggest, massive elephants in the room. Who is the mother of Towa and Setsuna? And who else could it be other than Rin? So yes, it is officially confirmed in this episode that Rin is the lover of Sushomeru, the wife of Sushomeru, the mother of Towa and Setsuna. And for me, this is still a little strange. I can't get over the fact that Sushomeru found this little girl, saved her life, and then eventually knocked her up with some half-demon children. I don't know what it is about this that just weirds me out. Maybe it's because in the original Inuyasha series, I always saw the relationship between Sushomeru and Rin as more of like a father and daughter kind of thing, but no. Apparently, they just decided to get it on, and Rin just really likes dogs. That's just the way that it's going to be. So that has officially been confirmed. I know that's been driving people up the wall for months, especially because they've just been withholding all of this information. But right after that, that's when things start to get a little bit weirder. One of the biggest pieces of information from this episode is we get to learn that Hosenki II has created a brand new black pearl for Inuyasha. This is going to allow him access to the other side, where his father's grave actually is, and basically it is a keepsake from his mother. Apparently the original Black Pearl were actually the tears of his mother, which took physical form and was that magical artifact that was used in the past. But Inuyasha decides that he's going to place this in his eye for safekeeping. While all of this is going on, suddenly we get the appearance of Riku, who apparently has been around for a long time, and as far as I'm concerned, might even be the true antagonist of this series, and sort of like the catalyst for everything that's going on here. I don't have any solid foundation around that aside from the fact that he's very mysterious and he seems to know everything about everything. The point is, Riku's kind of a strange guy, but he ends up meeting Kagome and telling her this story of how in the past 500 years ago, there was this massive comet which was heading towards the planet, and the only people that could destroy it was none other than Inuyasha's father, as well as Kirinmaru. But Kirinmaru is asleep, Inuyasha's father is dead, so the only way that they're going to be able to take this thing down is with the combined powers of Inuyasha and Sushomeru. The other big problem is that Kirinmaru seems to have a problem with half-demons of all kind. Doesn't matter if you're half-demon, quarter-demon, he just don't like you, he's gonna kill you, that's gonna be the way it is. So they can't wake him up because, one, he's not even gonna work along with Inuyasha, and when he finds out that Sushomeru has had half-human children, well, that's probably not going to sit too well with him. So, reluctantly, Inuyasha and Sushomeru team up to take down this massive comet, which they do in a flurry of big, awesome attacks, and that's pretty much the end of that cataclysm. However, it brings about a brand new conflict when we bring in the character of Zero, who's that mysterious woman who hired Homura to light the forest on fire to get rid of Towa and Setsuna, and this is where we get to learn that apparently she's related to Kirinmaru in some sort of sense, and she's actually working directly along with him, and she actually ends up waking up Kirinmaru, which causes all sorts of problems, because he learns about everything that's been going on with Sushomeru and all the rainbow pearls and all this other stuff, and he's pissed off. Not to mention some weird throwaway line about the fact that the Shikon Jewel had some sort of like weird prophecy about the fact that Kirinmaru was going to be killed by some half-demons or quarter-demons. So basically he's a man on a mission at this point, and he decides that he's going to order Sushomeru around, and they're actually end up trying to kill Kagome and Inuyasha and to try and get rid of all of these children. And that's where we go to that one flashback flashback sequence from a couple of episodes ago where they were teaming up together and Moroha was sent away with Hachiman and all that other stuff. And this is all where it gets really strange and super fast-paced and crazy. So we do technically get to learn the origin of the Rainbow Pearls in this episode. We just don't know how they actually happened. And it's also kind of connected to the Black Pearl, as we learned that Lady Izoi, who is the mother of Inuyasha, is the one who created the original Black Pearl. But apparently this woman, Zero, who's related to Kirinmaru, is the one responsible for the creation of these Rainbow Pearls. According to Sushomeru, these were created from her tears. Again, it's in a really quick throwaway line in this episode, but that's apparently what's going on here. And he even reclaims the gold and silver pearl, which he hides in both the eyes of Towa and Setsuna, unknown to Kirinmaru or even frickin' Zero at this point. And basically it looks like this is all a part of a big convoluted plan in order to save his daughters and keep them from being harmed, having their Rainbow Pearls taken away from them, as well as inadvertently saving Inuyasha and Kagome. We now know why they're no longer in the story. When they were confronted by Kirinmaru and Sushomeru, Sushomeru actually ended up taking the Black Pearl from Inuyasha and then having it suck up Kagome and Inuyasha inside of it, effectively trapping them inside of this pearl. He claims that eventually they will need his power at some point again, hence why he didn't decide to actually kill him. And even Kirinmaru remarks that you could have killed him, but it looks like you were actually trying to save him. And again, I think this is all a part of his crazy convoluted plan and everything that's actually currently going on with Rin here. We don't get to see how she got trapped in this tree outside of the fact that Jokin is going to be protecting the children when he's a little bit younger. He's going to bring Rin over to the tree, and supposedly she's going to become one with it. As much as we got answers in this episode, there's still a lot of confusion about how things really are going down here. And again, this entire backstory is told so rapidly by Riku that you kind of just have to take it for what it is. There's a lot of conveniences in this episode, and the way that it does its storytelling, how quickly it's done, it is a little haphazard, I have to admit. Probably a lot like this review, but the fact of the matter is, there's one scene that didn't sit well with me, and that's when basically Sushomeru was going away with his two daughters after they had been born for the very first time, and he's immediately met by that one massive snake woman demon who apparently is working directly with Zero. And he cuts off both of her arms, just revealing the gold and silver rainbow pearls, which I'm guessing were gifted to her by Zero. But it's just strange how convenient all of that happened all at once, and it feels a little sloppy in some senses. But at the same time, I'm just glad that we have some solid answers for things that are going on here, mostly in regards to the newer characters in the series, officially confirming that Rin is indeed the mother of Towa and Setsuna. And of course, the other big detail about the fact that Moroha was not only saved by Hachi, but apparently was given to Koga and the Wolf Clan, and apparently that's where she was trained. And this answers so many other crazy questions about how she was brought up, but let's discuss that a little bit more in the rundown of the latest episode of Yashahime. Woo! There is a lot of stuff just to discuss in this episode right here, and like I said, it just goes at such a quick pace that you almost need to watch the episode twice to get some of the finer details, but for the most part, it's fairly easy to understand. It's just there's so much ridiculous crap that's actually going on here. Again, I want to talk about Rin again. I don't know what it is about me just not wanting to accept that she's the mother of Towa and Setsuna. It makes the most sense, however. I mean, this was the only major female, aside from Sushomeru's mother, that was in his life and someone that he felt was very important to him, so it does make sense. And even then, the relationship still manages to be completely cold and weird. Rin still has a tremendous amount of respect for Sushomeru, and a lot of this is probably owed to her past and interactions with him. But still, it's just weird. It seems like she's the only one who does all the love, and he's the one who does all of the running away all the time. That's just what Sushomeru does. Even when he leaves again with the two children, he mentions the whole, like, you know, courage and cowardice thing, like throwing the children into the wild. But I think this was all a part of a convoluted plan for him to actually save his daughters. He just doesn't really wear his emotions on his face. That's just not the type of character that he is. Sushomeru's always been a really weird character to read in terms of what his true motivations are, and I'm really glad that they haven't broken free from that completely, but I would like to see a more emotional side of the character, which I have a feeling maybe we'll see a little bit more of towards the end of the series. But bringing in the character of Zero and making her more important, Kirinmaru, and how Riku is going to tie into all of this is still kind of a mystery. But of course, the biggest thing is Kagome and Inuyasha. We now know why they're not here and why Moroha never met them, because she was just a newborn when it happened. She has no memories really of them, and they've been trapped inside this Black Pearl and surviving on who knows what for this entire time. I cannot wait to see the characters return and I have a feeling it's going to be a very triumphant moment, and just getting to see the reunion between, like, the daughter and the parents again, I think is going to be a really big deal for the series. But the fact of the matter is, Maroha has been raised by Koga and the Wolf Demon tribe, which is remarkably interesting. It also, you know, makes me realize why her look is the way it is. I mean, she still has, like, the robe of the fire rat, or maybe she doesn't, because Inuyasha actually has that. I don't know how that's actually confirmed, why she has some sort of, like, robe of the fire rat thing, and how that was, you know, given to her by Inuyasha. I don't know. It's strange, because they're trapped in the Black Pearl, and as far as I remember in that flashback, they got sucked into that stuff, so maybe there was another one that was created specifically for her. Maybe it was gifted to her by Miyoga. Maybe they were able to get it in another way. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about this too much, but it also confirms, like, her overall fighting style, her wild nature, and just the fact that she wears those things around her legs. It's very similar to the Wolf Demon tribe. I mean, she really does seem like she's like a member of that group, and it all just sort of like aligned at that moment when I saw that. And we're gonna get to learn a little bit more about that in the next episode, about her master, who was also a part of the Wolf Demon tribe, and getting to learn how she was raised, and a lot of big important things are happening here. And I'm sure Koga fans are just thrilled to finally see him return in the series. I know I was really excited to see him. I wish he had more dialogue here, but it's just so strange. I wonder how Inuyasha would feel about his daughter being raised by what is one of his greatest rivals of all time. I think that's actually pretty remarkable right there. Again, though, I thought this was a pretty solid episode with some really great grandiose moments, some big explanations, and yet still just as many questions. I'm still anxious to see eventually where this show is going to be headed and how it could have a potential future, or if this is just going to be a single, self-contained sort of story, tying up some of the loose ends of the original series while presenting a new adventure for these new characters. I just want to see more, and I can honestly say that if you're continuing to watch the show, do it. It's getting pretty good. It's getting really interesting. Now that we've finally got some of that big exposition and mystery out of the way, we can move forward to the next major part of the story, and I, for one, am very excited. Production value-wise, another pretty good-looking episode. Not going to win any awards for animation or artwork or anything, but it's at least consistent. The characters still look really cool, and there's still a little good flashy moments. The moment where Inuyasha and Sushomeru were destroying the comet, I thought looked really cool, mainly because anything Sushomeru does is awesome, like cutting a comet in half, but even frickin' Inuyasha using his Medo Zengatsuha, whatever you want to call it, where it, you know, completely destroys this thing, almost looks like it's like releasing sort of evil demon inside of this comet. I wonder if there was something to that. I don't know what, but it still looked really freaking awesome. So overall, if you like the previous episodes of Yashahime, you're probably going to like this one, especially for those who are classic fans of Inuyasha. I really enjoyed it. For me, it is a 4 out of 5, but I'd love to get all of your thoughts about the episode. Make sure to sound off in the comments section below, telling me what you thought about the latest episode of Yashahime and what you're hoping to see from the future. The big revelations that Rin is indeed the mother of Towa and Setsuna. What's really going on with this whole Zero Kirinmaru backstory, and what's the deal with Riku? Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he a passive force for the series? What's the deal? Thoughts, theories, everything you want to talk about, comment section below. Let's do it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. If you did like this video, smash the like button, bring out your Tetsaiga, hit it with a freaking adamant barrage. Make it happen, guys, whatever you gotta do. Make sure to check out the channel for tons of other anime reviews. I also want to take this time to thank all of my patrons who've been checking out my Patreon page. You guys are just friggin' awesome. I mean, everybody else is just watching my videos, leaving comments. You guys are going that extra mile, supporting me every month with these great donations. They're helping make the channel better with brand new equipment, brand new cameras and lighting and all that other stuff. I cannot thank you enough for that. Remember, first-time donators, if you make a donation, I'll review an anime series of your choice, as well as adding your names to this list of all these really awesome people, the producers of Ace Guru. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.